Hi, my name is Camille, and welcome back to the New Design for Living. We are in the in between, that messy, magical place between what was and what is yet to be. Today, I want to talk about release. This is a tough one for us humans. We don't like to let go. And yet, in the new design model, we understand that there is an impermanence to the very essence of life. And nothing shows us better than Mother Nature. I've said in many talks, workshops, and podcasts that I've done that you never see a leaf in the fall clinging to a branch, screaming, I won't let go. I don't want to let go. No, what we see is the leaf letting go with grace, oftentimes just this beautiful float until it hits the ground. In change, there is always at least one moment, if not many at a time, in which we are called to release. We're called to release an old version of ourselves that we know we have outgrown. We're called to release a habit that no longer aligns us with the person we're saying we want to be. Lately, definitely 2025 was the great release in which either we were letting go of people that were no longer in alignment with who we are and who we are becoming, or people let go of us because we aren't in alignment with who they are and who they are becoming. And so 2025 really helped us, sometimes through force, sometimes kicking and screaming, what it really means to let go and release what no longer serves us, what we know is no longer in our best interest, be it our mental, emotional, physical, or spiritual health. We have learned how to let go of friends and family members that we have allowed to hold us back in the hopes that if we just waited for them to let go, we could all do it together. No, in the new design model and in the in between, we practice letting go with grace and a willingness because we know that the old cannot go with us into the new. Maybe you've even heard that phrase, the old skin cannot hold the new wine. I mean, come on, we're in the year of the snake. The shedding is almost complete. That's why I say 2025 is a game changer. Well, was a game changer, though I still feel like, we're in it because we're still in the year of the snake until the 17th of February. But 2025, a game changer when it comes to release. Even if you didn't want to release, somehow the universe did it for us. And that's why I find the shedding of the snake so fascinating when I think about releasing. In the early life of a snake, they release their skin a lot because they're in that phase for the first years of its life of growing from a little tiny snake into a mature snake. So the shedding is frequent. However, once a snake becomes a mature snake, its shedding is less frequent, though it always happens. And there's this moment where the old, dried up, scaly skin of the snake tears. It's kind of like the phase I spoke about in another video called cracked open. The skin tears, it cracks open. And so begins this process of the snake releasing the dead skin that it can no longer have around itself. In the beginning, it's pretty easy for the snake to shed that skin to release the old version of itself because it's taking up the majority of its body. But by the time it gets down to the tail, it's a little more difficult for that snake to shed that final inch or two of skin. And so it often has to find very, very rough surfaces to hit against and to rub itself against, sometimes violently, to get that last piece of dead skin off. And boy, are we seeing that in the world of effects right now. We're also seeing it in our own personal lives. In the beginning of your spiritual journey, at least for me, the releases were big and obvious. They were just so apparent to me once I understood how life really does work and was willing to undo that which I had learned to relearn a better way for myself. However, 25, 30 years later, I find that the releasing is much more subtle. And I'm on the lookout for it these days because I don't want any old pattern of thinking. I don't want any old programming that tells me who I can and can't be. I don't want any default emotions and feelings that my ancestors brought over from Italy to this country to survive to be my default. I am doing a complete and total makeover. And so I have learned how to let go and how to release. But let me tell you, it's still tender. There's still grief. Just because we understand that we need to release, because we need to make more room for the next version of ourselves that we're calling in, even though we know that we've outgrown relationships or jobs or roles that we've believed we had to play out all this time, it often comes with tenderness. I mean, if it doesn't, that's cool. Just make sure you're not bypassing a difficult feeling because you don't want to feel it. In the new design model, we learn how to sit in the discomfort of our discomfort. We are practicing all the time to sit in the discomfort that uncertainty and change brings us. And so, if you are dealing with a moment where you know you have to let go, when you're dealing with this moment where you know you have to release your tight grip on something or someone, maybe it's even what's next in your life, I want to encourage you to remember a few things. Number one, in the new design model, we have trust. We trust what we cannot see. That is a radical change from the old design model. What do we say in the old design model? I gotta see it to believe it. In the new design model, we say, because I'm feeling it, I'm going to see it. And so we know that we can trust what's happening because we truly believe that everything is working for us. In the old design model, there's an inherent belief that we're victims. There's a belief that life is happening against us. And as a result, we often attract a lot of the same situations and then can say, you see, I told you so. But that's not the way it is in the new design model. And that's definitely not the way it is in the in between. And so if something is face to face with you, if you know you have to let go of something or someone, if you know you have to release the tight grip that you may have right now, if your mind is struggling, bring compassion to your mind. Put your hand on your heart. Talk to your mind. Let it know that you understand why it's so freaked out. Let it know that you understand that it's afraid to let go because it can't see what's coming. When we bring compassion to our mind's concerns, our mind's worries, and our mind's fears, it is without a doubt one of the most compassionate and most beautiful acts of self-love that we could ever bring to ourselves. because we don't want to push away from our mind's resistance and dismiss it. And we also don't want to become our mind's resistance and miss an opportunity to let go and create more room for something better to come into our lives. So the best thing we can do is do both. As I say, stretch the canvas wide enough to include your mind's discomfort, anxiety, and concern. Bring compassion and an understanding to your mind by speaking out loud to yourself words of compassion and self love. And let go. And release. And create a ritual that supports the tenderness that you're going to feel when you let go. Just because we know we have to let go, just because we understand release is a part of change and transformation, it doesn't mean it doesn't come with tenderness and tears. It doesn't mean it doesn't come with fear and a little anxiety because we can't see yet what's coming. But this is when trust and faith and our belief that life is for us and not against us that allows us to let go, breathe, and take that next step. So if you're in a position right now where you're nodding your head because you know that right now you have to release and let go, know that you're not alone and you got this.